So guys, we have some new details to go over for Avengers Kang Dynasty, teasing Kang killing multiple Avengers in the film, but also we do have other things to go over such as the rumored lineup for Avengers Kang Dynasty, the main Avengers, and also Elizabeth Olsen teasing Scarlet Witch's return in the MCU, all of which we'll be talking about in this video, so if that sounds interesting, let's hop into it. Yo, what is going on guys, Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As I said, we do have some new details to go over for Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty, in which they have very recently started writing. So we have some teasers to go over from the main MCU writer himself, and then as I said, we'll be talking about some other things as well, such as the rumored lineup for the Avengers, Scarlet Witch's return, teased by Elizabeth Olsen, and various other things as well. So the main thing which we'll be going over is obviously what the main writer for Avengers Kang Dynasty teased, and that is that we should be expecting massive deaths happening. So Kang will be on a kill count, as they say. So this is coming from the direct, which I'm reading off. It's an article in which comicbook.com, I believe, is who interviewed the writer for Kang Dynasty. The writer had some very interesting things to say about a lot of Avengers dying, like we're supposed to be expecting a big death toll, and he teases how different Kang the Conqueror will be in Avengers Kang Dynasty compared to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. So let's read over this article and then we'll break it all down. Avengers 5's big death toll teased by MCU writer. With Avengers Kang Dynasty set to bring Earth's mightiest heroes back together, head writer Jeff Loveness teased that death might be on the way in the MCU's big team-up outing. After seeing Tony Stark and Natasha Romanoff meet their end in Avengers Endgame, more major deaths appeared to be an absolute certainty for Avengers 5. As Kang the Conqueror builds up to his status as the next Avengers-level antagonist, many expect him to show his true power with a killing spree. For the time being, only 3 MCU characters have been specifically rumored for roles in Avengers 5, although that number is sure to grow during Phase 5 and Phase 6. And with concern that Kang hasn't exerted himself to his full potential yet, Avengers 5's head writer isn't worried in the slightest. Death on the way in Avengers 5. Speaking with comicbook.com, Avengers the Kang Dynasty head writer Jeff Loveness teased on the idea of big characters meeting end in the MCU's next Avengers outing. He mentioned the MCU's most bloodthirsty fans prepping for them to feel a good amount of heat when Avengers 5 arrives. And then this is what the writer says about it. I think for these bloodthirsty fans, there's a little movie called Avengers Kang Dynasty. I think he'll bring the heat. Loveness compared this kind of movie to working out a giant puzzle when putting together a narrative with so many characters in the ensemble. And then the writer goes on to say, I mean, certainly in these Marvel rooms and all that, you certainly game out all these stories and you pitch them out, you write them out, and you're trying to land the best puzzle piece because there's so many characters in the ensemble. Loveness also discussed the idea with The Hollywood Reporter when asked if there were some seismic deaths on the table in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which Loveness also wrote. He explained that the team didn't want to necessarily copy the Thanos approach, where he immediately lays waste to a ton of MCU heroes, noting how Quantumania was first and foremost an Ant-Man story. We certainly gamed out a ton of scenarios, but it just felt a little obvious. It's up for debate, but it just felt like copying the Thanos approach, where he comes in pretty heavy and wipes the floor with everybody. I certainly see the critiques and all that, but this is a multi-step story that we're telling. It's also an Ant-Man movie. For those thinking that Paul Rudd's Ant-Man would die in the Ant-Man threequel, he explained that people may not want to come back for movies if the main hero does, comparing it to Wizard of Oz and Jurassic Park. I think people say they want that, but do they really want to see Paul Rudd get murdered in his third movie? It was all debated, all discussed, and all gamed out, but in The Wizard of Oz, you don't want to see Dorothy die and never go home. It's supposed to be one of those classic adventure movies. If everyone gets eaten in Jurassic Park, I don't know if you'll want to see the next Jurassic Park. But Loveness also made it clear that viewers shouldn't be too concerned about Kang's death toll, which is going to increase before too long. But I wouldn't worry too much about Kang's kill count. He's going to rack up and kill as he goes along. But then we go on to talk about who's going to die in Avengers 5, so I'll go over that piece of the article as well. Of course, with more than 2 years until Avengers 5 hits theaters, there is no way to nail down who will meet their demise in the story. Rumors about the earliest plot details have only just begun to surface, with Kang on a path to take down the entire multiverse as the first wave of Avengers hunts him down, even teaming up with He Who Remains from Loki in the process. After Ant-Man 3 debuted in theaters, there are already rumors pointing to somebody from Team Ant-Man meeting their end in Avengers 5, especially considering they were the first to interact with Kang on the big screen. Jonathan Majors also hinted that he wants a shot at facing Chris Hemsworth's Thor, which is leading many to believe the God of Thunder may finally end his MCU story after more than a decade of movies. So yeah, there's some very, very interesting stuff that needs to be talked about over here. Most specifically, the one that stood out was that the writer acknowledged the criticisms they had for, like, the fans had for Kang in Quantumania, which was like he got so depowered towards the end. Like, we had him go all crazy. This guy was supposed to be someone that wiped out the Avengers all around the multiverse, killed Thor and all of that. Yet we had Scott Lang beating him in a one-on-one, which still I believe shouldn't have happened. And also, the writer did acknowledge that, you know, Kang wasn't really at his full potential yet, because otherwise they would have been copying that Thanos approach. I understand what he's saying, but personally, in my opinion, in Quantumania, I still follow through the fact that Scott should have died and Kang should have been victorious. For me, it wouldn't have been exactly copying the Thanos approach. This just raises the stakes, shows how powerful Kang is, which, yes, without a doubt, we did see in the film. We saw Kang, you know, doing all sorts of stuff, including like when he captured Scott and Cassie and how he used his powers to threaten one another. It was really, really cool. And with us seeing all of these powerful traits of Kang already, we're like, whoa, okay, this guy is sick. But then towards the end of the film, when he got defeated by ants and then got defeated against Scott in a one-on-one, bearing in mind this guy wiped out the Avengers, like, it didn't make too much sense. So in my opinion, he should have still prevailed and he should have still killed. But as the writer also said, that was kind of an Ant-Man movie, so I do see where he's coming from. But then when it comes to Avengers Kang Dynasty, obviously now he's the big bad. This was just his introduction. Now he's the big bad. Without a doubt will be much more powerful, because now he's going to go up against like the whole Avengers and supposedly like the multiversal war and all those sorts of stuff. So we're going to have to see Kang at his full potential over here. And without a doubt, I am sure we're going to definitely see him up this kill count and defeat some Avengers. So that's going to be really interesting to see. And I'm really looking forward to see how much more powerful Kang the Conqueror will be in Avengers Kang Dynasty compared to Quantumania. As I said, we have seen these crazy traits from Kang already, but there was also some underwhelming moments, which without a doubt will be leveled up times 10 in Kang Dynasty. Now, obviously, there is also like the Kang multiversal war with the other variants of Kang being around, which Kang the Conqueror is trying to kill as well. We could potentially even have like the Council of Kangs versus the Avengers and all of that. That would be pretty cool to see. Now, there was a rumored lineup as well they had for the Avengers, which, take it with a massive grain of salt, because I don't really know the source. It was just a tweet that I saw, and it was like surfacing around. It did get like quite a lot of attention, so I do want to go over it really quickly. But this was the rumored lineup for Avengers Kang Dynasty, and as I said, take it with a massive grain of salt, because we don't know how reliable this is. But apparently the rumored Avengers were Shang-Chi, Ant-Man, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Shuri, She-Hulk, Spider-Man, Miss Marvel, Kate Bishop, and Wasp. Now, if this is actually true, and this is obviously the main Avengers, like these are going to be like the main characters of the film, if you will, some of these make sense. But if this is actually the main Avengers, I'm gonna say it right now, Kang's gonna have a very, very easy time without breaking a sweat, because out of all of these characters, no one can really do anything to Kang except probably Shang-Chi, Captain Marvel, and maybe Spider-Man. That would be it. So I don't really know how reliable this is, and we do also need to take into account that the main Avengers are still around as well. Like we still do have Hulk around, and we still do have Thor around, and the fact that they weren't mentioned as like a key main role didn't really make too much sense, which is why I don't really believe this rumor. And obviously we do have other powerful characters still being around as well, such as like Doctor Strange, which makes sense because I believe Doctor Strange should be not only be part of the main new Avengers, but also should be having the main role, because in my opinion Doctor Strange is the one that not only would have the highest chance into, like, you know, fighting Kang and surviving, but also Doctor Strange knows about the multiverse. He knows all about timelines, multiverses, incursions, and he's also one of the most powerful Avengers out there as well. I know there have been rumors saying that Spider-Man will potentially be the one that leads the Avengers, and don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be against that at all. That would be pretty damn cool to see. I would just think that Doctor Strange will be the more likely one, in my opinion. In regards to Kang's kill count, I do think one of the main Avengers at least will die. I think it will be Thor. They have obviously teased in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania where Kang has killed a version of Thor. So actually seeing that battle between our main Thor and Kang the Conqueror, with Kang defeating Thor, I think that would be pretty cool to see as well. Now, lastly to go over, we do have a teaser from Elizabeth Olsen returning as Scarlet Witch. So she was at like a convention earlier, and she discusses the future of the Scarlet Witch pretty much. So she talks about returning, and she says, if I were to tell you exactly what I would want, I think I would be spoiling something, because Kevin Feige asks us what we want to do and then he does it. So I don't know if I can share. I just want to come back. So obviously we did see Wanda taking the darker route in Multiverse of Madness, and we are led to believe that she is dead. But obviously that is full of crap. We know that is not a thing. But it will be interesting to see how Wanda returns. It is interesting that Elizabeth Olsen teased this, so they do definitely have something planned for Wanda's return, and I am really interested to see how it happens. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think about all of this. I'm interested to see all of your thoughts towards all of it as well. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.